Welcome to another session for our pre-divine appointment, preparation for divine appointment. Well, today we will talk about or discuss about the purpose of divine appointment. So, kabalumanta na tanan na ay purpose. So, one of the purpose of divine appointment is for us to truly understand God's way of making things right. No? Sabot man ta siguro no that whether we like it or yes, no, na most of those we usually believe to be good is not always the right thing. No? And let's face it, not all good are right. And mao ni importante isgutan nato nga nganong ang unsay purpose sa divine appointment kay no, just like in the life of Paul, no, actually one of the best example of understanding why or purpose why we need to have divine appointment so that we can relate to the story of Saul before he became the Apostle Paul. So I'll lead you to the story of Paul na before siya naging Saul or before siya naging Paul, he was Saul. His name was Saul. And Saul was a protector of his religion. And ang iyang mindset na the only way to protect his religion was to eliminate all Christians. So imagine mo, this was Paul before he became, or this was Saul before he became Paul. So, mao na ang iyang mindset na grabe siya ka-religious and he sought to eliminate all Christians kasi tanaw niya nga ang Christians ang nagahinder no sa stability sa iyang religion. Acts chapter 8 verse 3 it says, Saul was going everywhere to destroy the church. He went from house to house, imagine mo nag-house to house po siya, dragging out both men and women to throw them into prison. So, Paul was a protector, not only a protector sa iyang religion, okay? He is also so zealous and fully devoted to kill. So sa iyang devotion, sa iyang mindset na mao ni ang tama nga religion, he even devote himself to kill Christians. Every second of his existence is dedicated to the destruction of Christianity. Una, if you look at Acts chapter 9, verse 1, ingon siya, Saul was uttering threats with every breath and was eager to kill the Lord's follower. So grabe, I don't know if inana sa toong panahon karon na willing ka mo patay just to protect your religion, no? Or else na you will be known or named as a terrorist. So ibig sabihin, Saul was the religious terrorist who became the apostle of Christ. He was Saul, the religious terrorist who became the apostle of Christ. Saul was blinded by his religion. I don't know if you will agree with me. He was so zealous on his religion, thinking he's doing the will of God. But, sad to say, it was all misdirected zeal. Romans chapter 10, verse 3, naigingon diha, for they being ignorant of God's righteousness and seeking to establish their own righteousness, they have submitted or have not submitted to the righteousness of God. So, Paul can relate to this because he's the one actually writing on this to the people of Rome. Nga naay mga tao zealous kay silang religion, but it's misdirected zeal. And they failed to submit God's righteousness and sought to establish their own righteousness. So, actually, makarelate kay Tana, kay most of us today, no, we tried so hard to establish our own way of making things right before God. And mao na ang kasagaran pod gitudlo sa tuwa sa religion. So abi nato ang mga maayo nga butang tama. But again, not all good things are right. Dili tanan maayo nimong ginabuhat tama sa mata sa Ginoo. So God's way to make things right is to acknowledge the Lord first. Nabata diha? Ang imong faith in Him will make you become righteous not because of what you have done for Him. Again, na-discuss na to in the past, making right with God is not doing things, but simply your faith. Put your faith in Him, and that will make you become righteous tungod kay sa imong pagtuo, not because of what you have done for Him. Remember, ingon sa Bible, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 and 9. Ato ning recap gamay lang. God saved you by His grace when you believe. So, you cannot take credit for this. Nga naman, it's a gift from God. And salvation is not a reward for the good things we have done. So, none of us can boast about it. This is why Saul, the terrorist, needed a divine appointment for him to become the apostle of Christ so that he can make things right. Gusto nato mabuhat ang tama sa mata sa Ginoo, you need a divine appointment. Mo na ang purpose nganong kinahanglan ka mag-divine appointment. Nga naman, na ay mga butang na ginabuhat nimo na abi nimo okay ra or tama ra, but in the eyes of God, it's not right. So, di na ako na i-pinpoint. I know, ikaw ang maka-pinpoint, ana. Ikaw ang maka-question if what you are doing today is right in the eyes of God. So, I want to lead you in the book of Acts because this was Paul on the way to Damascus, on the road to Damascus, kasi ang iyang goal is to imprison all Christians. Kaya mo na ang hindran sayang religion. Acts chapter 9, let's move on. Acts chapter 9, verse 3 and 4, it says, as he was approaching Damascus on this mission, so on the mission siya, ha? So, iyang mindset, tama niya, kay mission guna niya. A light from heaven, so mo ni ang divine appointment niya, a light from heaven suddenly shone down on him, or shone down around him. Then, he fell to the ground and heard a voice saying, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? Sa itubag niya, who are you, Lord? Saul asked, I am Jesus whom you are persecuting. And then, ingon siya, ingon si Lord, now get up and go. Inay mong tapad, get up and go. Ganahan ko, get up and go, get up and go. Get up and go into the city and you will be told what you must do. Take note. Who are you, Lord, must be first before what must I do. Okay? Who are you, Lord, must be first before what must I do. Dili pwede what must I do before you even know kinsa ang nagsugo sa imo. Dapat kaila ka first, kinsa gid ang Lord. We must make sure that we know the Lord first before we can carry out exactly His will for us to do, not our own way. So, sa divine appointment, the Lord will show Himself to you. Again, sa past nato ng mga videos, si Lord ang excited mo meet sa imuha. Nga naman, kay kabalo siya, pag ma-meet na nimo siya, makastorya na siya sa imuha og tama. Matagaan na kanyag, tama nga perspective, tama nga pananawon, og tama nga dapat buluhaton. That's the same thing with Paul. Paul, kinahanglan siya ma-intervene ni Lord. Kay walay problema iyang heart. Devoted siya, radical siya, pero misdirected na zeal. Misdirected na radicalism. So, sa divine appointment, the Lord will show Himself to you. Kaya nga naman, so that you will have a clear and right perspective about Him first. And then, kaya ang purpose, ana, para ma-fulfill nimo ang iyang purpose sa imong life, not your own plan or perspective sa imong plano sa imong kinabuhi. Nabata diha? So, your perspective in life dictates your whole being. No na, kinahanglan ka divine appointment para matama ang imong point of view, matama ang imong perspective perspective in life. Point of view, kanang imong picture of reality. Dapat matama. Kaya para matama po ang imong ginabuhat. Remember, Saul was wrong, or Saul has a wrong perspective about the Lord, and that dictates his behavior. Ngano, muhantong manggid sa pagpatay, kung tama pa ang iyang pagtanaw sa Ginoo. Ibig ba sabihin, mamamatay tao ang Ginoo? So, naay mali nga perspective. So, listen to this. Your perspective in life defines your thought patterns, which direct your decisions in life and dictates your actions and your behavior. So, Unsa imong batasan karon, unsa imong attitude karon tungod na sa imong perspective. Tungod na sa imong point of view. Nga ba dadya? So, here's few thoughts to ponder. Nganong kinahanglan ka mag divine appointment. Few thoughts, ha? Dapat masabtan nimo ni siya. Okay. How you view others reflects on how you view yourself. And how you view yourself reflects on how you view our God. Clear ba na? Ponder. Your perspective on God affects your perspective about yourself. And that affects also your perspective towards others. Ibig sabihin, ang pagtanaw nimo sa mga tao, replika na sa imong pagtanaw sa imong sarili. And kung inana ang pagtanaw nimo sa imong sarili, tungod na kay inana ang pagtanaw nimo sa Ginoo. So kung mali ang pagtanaw nimo sa mga tao, mali ang pagtanaw nimo sa imong sarili. Nganong mali imong pagtanaw sa imong sarili, kay mali imong pagtanaw sa Ginoo. Nabada diha? I hope this is clear. So, makita nimo karon, ngano kinahanglan kag divine appointment? No, di ka forgive. Lagot ka sa imong mama, lagot ka sa imong papa, lagot ka sa mga tao na kapalibot sa imo, lagot ka sa atong gobyerno. Nagpasabot lang mali ang pagtanaw nimo sa imong sarili, kay tungod mali ang pagtanaw mo sa Ginoo. Labi na sa atong panggobyerno. Daghan kay reklamo karon sa atong panggobyerno. That affects your point of view or your perspective about the one who knows everything. Na ba di aksidente sa kalibutan? So, we must ask the right questions today. Gusto ba jud ka mag-divine appointment? I tell you, kinahanglan nimo mag-divine appointment. And this is the purpose para matarong or matamba ang imong perspective sa atoang Ginoo. So, mao ni dapat ipangutanon nimo karon. How well do you know the Lord? Kailan ba jud ka sa Ginoo? Again, your idea about the Lord affects your entire being baya. Okay? Unsa ang pagtanaw nimo sa Ginoo affects every behavior attitude you have today. Ang question another, are you doing what is in the right or what is right in the eyes of God? Are you sure that you do what you do now is God's will for you? So that's how important divine appointment for you. Because it's not just an ordinary appointment with anyone. It's an appointment from heaven. Napata diha? So, ako nakita na ko ni tanan nga nag-divine appointment. Dili gyud siya tanan, pero most of the people nga nag-divine appointment na direct gid ang ilang life. Na tama gid, na sakto. No, sa una maski unsa lang ginabuhat, daghan kay ginabuhat and abi nato nga okay ni tanan, tama ni tanan. Pero sa divine appointment, realize mo, God only want us naray butang na gusto specific pabuhat ang Lord sa tong kinabuhi. Namata diha? So si Apostle Paul, balik ta kay Paul. Paul, or before he became Paul, he was Saul. Persecutor, religious terrorist, na mission, pero sa yang divine appointment, the Lord intervened. And then he was totally changed. Totally transformed. Now, he had the right perspective na kung naman siya kadasig na buhaton or zealousness, now it is now right. Tama na siya. Mao na, if you look at the Bible today, in the New Testament, 2/3 sa tanan na sulat diha, halos tanan diha, kasulat ni Paul. Letter na ni Paul sa mga churches. So, kabalo ang Lord unsa ka radical si Paul. And that's the same thing, kabalo pod si Lord sa unsa ka radical. Radical ba? Radical sa kabuang before. Like me personally, radical sa kabuang kanang digid mo sugot o kanang ordinary lang kanang grabe jud. Pero gusto ni Lord i-direct ka sa tama. Nabata diha. So, God desires na ma-align ka sa iyang perfect will. That's why you need divine appointment. Kaya para ma-fulfill nimo imong purpose. Just like Paul. Okay, let's look at in the last days sa life ni Paul. Acts 26, mao na mga panahon hapit na siya unsa tawag na nang about to be persecuted, about to be executed na siya, no, tungod sa iyang devotion. Ingon diri atubang na siya kay King Agrippa, no, kay mao man na iyang goal na matubang niya si Pontius, mabot ang panahon nga maka-istorya niya ang mga king para mastorya niya unsay tama. So, niabot siya sa panahon na abot na siya sa atubangan ni King Agrippa. Ingon siya, "So you see, King Agrippa, I have not been disobedient to what was revealed to me from heaven." So iyang ingon si King Agrippa, wala ko nag-disobey sa ako ang divine appointment. No, after 64 years sa iyang journey, 64 years naman after 64 years sa iyang journey, 64 or almost 67 years, wala niya na, ginabalikan niya permente na unsa ang iyang divine appointment, unsa gi-reveal sa iya from heaven, iyang gi-pursue. Nabata diha? And I believe, ang imong divine appointment, mo ay mag-set og pace sa imong kinabuhi kung asa ka padulong. And I'm so excited. Me personally, excited jud kay kabalo ko, nagibuhaton ng Lord sa imong life. Na siya pwede na i-tweak para ma-align ka sa iyang kabubuton. Just like Paul. Sa ingon ni Paul, for it was in Damascus that I first declared the truth. Sa Damascus, on the road to Damascus man siya na naka-encounter or na divine appointment. So dito siya nagsugod. Then that's where he declared the truth. And then, eventually, ang sa ingon diya, then I went to Jerusalem and then throughout our nation and even to other nations. And then, telling people everywhere that they must repent and turn to God, and demonstrating it with changed life. So I believe, wala lain purpose ang divine appointment, ma-transform ka, ma-change ang imong life, ma-align ang imong perspective into the perspective of God. Na ang imong ginabuhat, na murag dili siguro iyaha, masiguro jud nimo nga kay Lord yun ni. Nabata diha? Apostle Paul's divine appointment changed the course of his life. His whole being, and he became faithful to what God had revealed to him. Mao na, be excited sa divine appointment. Kaya na-i-reveal si Lord sa imong life. Ma-amaze ka, ma-excited ka, and maging radical ka in fulfilling the purpose of God for your life. So, here's a short testimony of a person unsay nahitabo saya after divine appointment. I want you to watch this short video, testimony, unsay gibuhat ni Lord sa iyang kinabuhi.
Hi, I'm Ken Abay-Abay. I'm a product of Transform Marketplace Radicals. I am married to one wife. Been married for 3 months for now. Before divine appointment, I'm already a Christian. Sugod pagkabata. Tapos, nawala ko sa simbahan because na-hurt ko. Tapos, nag-work ko sa live events. And dito, na-experience na ako tanang worldly kayo, drugs, alcohol. Dito pa na ako na-try na mag-party na wala na ako nabuhat sa itong Christian ko. During the divine appointment, dito na ako na-experience og healing sa heart. Dito na ako na-sabtan na kailangan ko mag-forgive sa tao o kailangan ko mga ipasaylo sa tao na na-hurt na ako. Tapos, deliverance. Although, Christian na ka, pero nagapo na spirit sa imong lawas na kailangan ka ma-deliver. Dili ni mo kaya buhaton, kundi sa DA lang ni mo makuha. Pinakauna, i-pray doon ako is sa grabe na ako addicted sa shabu. Although, mahuna na ako, makontrol na ko siya, pero dili di pornography, masturbation. Nana ko sa church, pero hindi na ko siya ma-stop ba. Pero katong sa DA, nawala dyan ang spirit, nakat dyan siya. Kaya bisag naka sa church, pag simba ka, ang spirit nagya po na siya kung dili ka ma-deliver. After divine appointment, dito na nagsugod ang house church. Although, sa 2 ka Sunday nag-house church, wala pa na ko siya nakuan kay ginaka-gather pa na ko akong self ba. Kung saon kay akong pamilya naggayo. Dati nag sa Christian tuwa sa nagasimba, pero thankful ko kay after sa day na on fire ko. Na bisag dugay na ko sa Ginoo, wala na ko sa mabalik ba. Pero karon, gamit ko sa Ginoo, pabalik sila. Hindi na ako makunti ng kalipay ba na gigamit ko sa pag-serve sa akong pamilya. Although, grabe na nila sa Ginoo, pero ako gigamit para mabalik sila. Thankful ko sa Ginoo na karon na panahon, ako gamiton sa pamilya na mabalik sila. Naka-house church na sila for 2 consecutive Sundays. Ang goal doon na ako maka-DA sila. Power lang juga yung DA kay dito niyo makita ang purpose nimo sa imong kinabuhi. Although dugay na akong Christian, pero wala na ko nakita na pananahon ba na gamiton ko sa Ginoo na singanay na paagi. Actually, kung first na mong house church, pag-pray na ko sa ilahan, kailak ko kay nag-declare ko ba na mabalik sila sa Ginoo. Nakita na ko ba na ang hunger gani nila sa pagbalik sa Ginoo. Nakatuig na gud sila wala sa Ginoo. Nakita na ko dito ba na anang yung Lords ko na tumiton ta ka sa in a mighty way. Ayaw lang balik sa mong dating binuhatan ana ko na. Yes Lord, kung sa may tawag sa ako ning bato, inud-on ko ni karon. Nag-house church pud mi sa Kapalong. First kay hesitant ko kay ang papa na Ivy, sa akong wife, nahubog kay ito. Pero dito na nakita ba na po siya hunger ba? Katong last na mong house church, lagi sa mag-invite daw siya. So grabe akong kalipay. Kamiton jud ko sa Ginoo. Di jud ako rin makita sa una. Mga thankful kay ko sa church, sa TGFM Church, na gitawag og balik sa Ginoo. Sa tanan nga naman kay gamay na hint sa DA o gusto ka mag-appeal sa DA, appeal mo DA. Kung naka-appeal man mo life retreat dati, ang DA lahi. Diri ma-change imong life, ma-renew imong commitment, relationship sa Ginoo. Kini na event, kini na appointment, once in a lifetime ni may tabo sa imong kinabuhi. Ang happiness na imong makuha diri dili ka bayaran. Kung happy man ka sa world, mas happy diri. Learn mo appeal og DA and ang mga anghel maglipay kung ikaw makabalik sa tilan sa Ginoo.